Anyway, yes, welcome to week three. Week three, people of the 60-day challenge. Super excited to have you. Excited to have everybody participating. I expected the hardcore ones to hear, and I see all their faces, all the ones I knew will be committed. I'm excited. Um, anyway, we're going to get going here. Welcome to week three, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Corney's Keith Coach, I should say, or Coach Keith. I'll get that right. He's got a new and improved mic this week, and next week he'll have even a better version, I'm sure. Anyway, all right, man, you're on. Go for it.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Great to see you guys all here. You can wave. I can see you. And those that don't have pictures, no big deal. Wave. Everybody wave. There we go. We're all involved. Awesome. This is where the rubber hits the road, you guys. I've done these things before, the 60-day challenge, the 6-week challenge, the 8-week challenge. And everyone jumps on thinking, this will be great. This is exactly what I need. And then what happens is they get involved, and then they have to start doing the work, right? You have to start doing the work. If you want results, you got to do the work. And then all of a sudden they start dropping off. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, there'll be the people that, that are probably always the ones that are always doing everything. The top producers, the people that invest the time in themselves. And I never get offended because I know this is how the world works. This is life, Scotty invests in his office, brings a guy like me in. I'm just here for nothing but good stuff. Scotty says, look, I got a microphone this time. Well, I always want a +1 and make things better because I am all in. And the truth is, if you're not all in, you're all out. And that's the problem right now with what's going on with COVID is there's mixed messages. Now, when I gave you that short video that Scotty sent out to get you guys to just an update for today's session, I was just finishing my coaching session Sunday morning. I do it every Sunday. I've done it every Sunday for 10 years. I've had my coach, and we met when we were in our coach training, and we agreed that we would coach each other for life because we knew it was a massive impact and something very important for us to do. And so I came up with this whole process. I had a blind spot that I didn't know I had during COVID, which is I was very angry because I've worked very hard to get where I am. I sold my franchises. I sold another business and liquefied some other assets, and I was getting ready to just really enjoy the freedom that I have for working so hard in my life. And all of a sudden COVID comes and I'm not allowed to go anywhere I want when I want. So what happened is I ended up getting very angry, but I didn't know it. I just kind of hunkered down in the office here, and I've been in this office for 2.5, 3 months now, working 6 days a week. And I started my book. I started another program. I'm training another coach. I'm starting a franchise agreement. I've got like 9 things on the go, and I burnt out. So I burnt out this weekend, just before Father's Day. So I'm sitting down in my coaching, and I realize that I'm burnt out because I don't get to have awesome experiences. And I was coaching a client about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I said to him, like, what's life mean to you? And he said, life is just about experiences. And I said, tell me more. It's about creating experiences that create joy in our life. And I was like, oh, that was interesting. I heard it back then. And then I realized that I haven't done anything like that. I haven't been proactive to create any joy in my life. So Sunday, I get off the phone with my coach. I book Whistler for 3 nights going in. I'm going to take off a week later in July. I'm going to work our Monday. And then between the next Monday, I'm going to take that block off. And then I'm going to come back for that Monday. And then I'm going to take another block off. The first block, I'm going to Whistler with my wife. It's booked. We're staying at a boutique hotel. It's going to be amazing. The second week, I'm in the process of booking a guy's trip, a golf trip, up to Predator Ridge, staying at a townhouse with its own pool right on the course. I'm pretty excited. It feels pretty good. I'm creating experiences in my life that bring me joy. So no longer the excuse that I can't do it because of COVID. I'm now doing it because I need to. I need to do it for my mental health, and I need balance. So burnout was definitely a factor. Now, the life wheel, okay, that should stop burnout, but I hadn't been doing mine for the last little while. And every time I was doing it, I was always feeling like, oh, I can't really do what I want to do. So I was in a good pity party. So what I want you to know is the life wheel and the work wheel, just put in there what you can do. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It doesn't have to be massive. It just needs to be something that is a small action that can compound to become a great feeling that you're going to have down the road. So let's talk about creating experiences. So you can create experiences in your work. You can create experiences in your family. You can create experiences everywhere you go. And it's how we show up and what we do to create those experiences. We need to put something in action for it to happen. It's not going to happen on its own. I tried that. I tried the default do nothing, and hopefully it would turn out, and that didn't happen. Another change is my lovely wife. She just, we're 54. She loves staying home. She loves gardening and working around the house and having wine on the deck. And I still want to go out. I still want to go do things. And because hockey's no longer around and a whole bunch of things in my life aren't around, I needed to create those things for me. So let's make sure you're laser focused on how you're feeling right now and start creating and planning things that are going to bring joy to your life that you can do. And then when it comes to business and work, let's create and plan things that we can do for the result that we want. So some of you are going to be here because you're here because you want your work to get going. You want to get focused. You want to generate some business. The market's definitely out there. And some of you are here just to get the emotional situation moving. Emotions need motion. Now, here's a great sales tip. You're working with a client. The client is upset. You broke rapport or trust, and you can see that they're having a feeling. Your job now is to not continue on because you're only going to push the matter and they're not wanting to go where you want them to go. You have to access that feeling that they're having or that emotion so you can put it in motion so it doesn't stay there and ruin your opportunity to get the contract or get the sale or move it through. So what you do is you acknowledge that emotion. So if I was in a conversation with Scott right now and he was upset, I wouldn't say, gee, Scott, you seem upset, because that would put him into hijack, which we talked about with Scarf, right? So what I would say is, wow, this conversation seems to have you upset. I would use a third thing: the conversation, the contract, the meeting, the COVID. Wow, COVID seems to have you upset right now. And they're like, yeah, it does. Tell me more about that. They'll tell you about that feeling and emotion. It moves out of them and they're going to be now more focused with you. So if you're in a meeting, the best thing to do is acknowledge the feelings and emotions before you start the meeting. Like, wow, I'm just noticing I personally with COVID have been in a pity party. Anybody else struggling with that? People will talk about it. You vent them, then you can move forward. So when you're negotiating with somebody in a contract and they get a low ball offer, you can't continue until you de-escalate the emotion. And the best way to do that is to say, I'm noticing that this offer has you upset. What's happening for you? Well, this is ridiculous. They're trying to get my house for free. They're a bunch of losers. I can't believe they're doing this. I hate them. And then what you have to do is go, oh, wow, I completely understand where you're at. Is there anything else? It seems like you're frustrated. Yeah, you bet I'm frustrated. Rah, 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 rah. Wow. Looks like these guys have made you a little bit angry. This negotiation's got you angry. Yeah, I'm angry. I've been insulted, And then when he's done, you say, great. So what I want you to know is, and then you walk through SCARF, which we talked about: status, certainty, autonomy, relational fairness. Then you say, great, there's no disrespect to you. I want you to know for certain that we're going to get you top dollar for your home. You have full control. You can accept, reject, counter the offer. I'm here as your realtor to get you top market value. What would you like to do now, Mr. McDonald? Well, I tell you what, Keith, what do you think I should do? Well, I think we should counter the offer. You drain the emotion, give it motion, and get it out. With children, same thing. With partners, same thing. That's really what we call listening. When you understand how they're feeling and you access that for them in a way that they don't feel judged so they can move that emotion. And when we're in COVID times, there's lots of emotion that's stuck inside of us. Today, I want to talk about another tool that I'm going to give you guys, and it's going to be the 4 quadrants. And we're going to talk about it for business, and we're also going to talk about it for personal. So the 4 quadrants here is a tool that I created to empty people's emotions. So how many of you have had that feeling where you say, man, I'm so busy, I don't even know what to do. I'm just so busy. How many of you have had that feeling, right? And so what happens is that's a cue word for Coach Keith. Busy means that they're overwhelmed, but they're not being effective. When I see them and they say, man, I've just been working so hard this week, then I know that they've been working, they've been taking care of things, and they've been getting results. They've been effective. So the word busy is my trigger that your mind is overwhelmed by too many things and that your emotional pool is full and you can't think clearly. So the first thing I do in a coaching session is I pull this out and I say, great, well, let's just start marking down what you want to do this week. So tell me what's urgent and important that you have to do. Now, I've given you guys 2 pages, one without writing and one with writing, okay? The one with writing is the one for the realtors and anybody in business that wants to know how to have a focused, efficient, effective week to get the best results. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're taking your brain and having it work at its optimal situation. The brain works the best when it's clear and focused and not defocused by emotion. So what kind of emotion do you think comes from being overwhelmed? Like, what kind of feelings do people have when they don't know what to do? Frustration?
Panic.
Right? Sorry, go ahead.
Panic.
Panic, frustration, anything else? What other feelings do people have when they don't know where to start and they're worried they're going to forget something? Sorry?
Stress.
Stress. How do you perform when you're in those feelings and emotions? Do you perform at your highest level? How do you communicate with your spouse? How do you communicate with your children? How do you treat your dog when you're stressed and overwhelmed? You know? So everybody here today is here to be the best you can be. In order to do that, you have to master your genius. You have to figure out how your brain works. And when the brain is overwhelmed, it's only working at 10%. So what we want to do is give it a process to have the emotions in motion, to put things ordered in order of importance, because the brain is sequential and systematic. This is a today list, but it's not a to-do list. A to-do list puts things down, but they're not in order, so you're still overwhelmed. You feel some clarity, but you don't have full clarity. If you're to circle the top 5 things in red and then circle the number 1 thing twice in red, your brain now knows that's what's important, because now you've put it in order of importance. Now, every realtor, your goal should be every week to write a contract. If you can write 1 to 2 contracts a week, you can get yourself to 24 deals a year to $250,000 to $300,000. You should look at an operating budget of 33%. So you're spending about 70 to make that 250, 70, 80, right? So how do you even do that? Where do you even start? Well, every week or day, you should be writing down any business builders and any money makers you need to do. So a money maker, you'll look at the list with the names on it. It's writing offers, doing CMAs, buyer tours, inspections, subject removals, deposits, etc. Those things need to be done ASAP, because getting the money is the most important part. Now, some people, they would do that in their day, and then they would also go down to the bottom one here where they would take care of tasks now, because they would make those money makers, and then they would do contracts, and then they'd hand in the TRS, the transaction record sheet, and then they would do a bunch of things that are tasks that align with their business. Call the photographer, call the measurer on the new listing, etc. The day will be over, and they'll feel like they had a good day, but they will say they were busy because they didn't do anything that projects a future positive outcome, because they know they didn't do anything that's going to create more business, which is the business builders, which is over here. They're important, but not as urgent. So before I go any further, I take for granted what I'm talking about here, because it makes clear sense to me. I've only been doing it for 20,000 hours in 10 years. Is there any questions that you would like to ask, just to kind of get clarification on the process and what this really means? Any questions? You guys kind of got it? Yeah, you got it? Awesome. Yeah, did you have a question, Minnie? No? Good.
I got
Okay.
it.
Good.
Thanks.
So imagine as if every day you got up and you did one of these in the day just to organize your day, or you did it at least weekly. If you did it weekly, then you would do this 50 times in a week, 52, 48 times in a year. And that means that you had had focus and clarity for 48 weeks out of the 52 weeks in the year, 4 weeks for vacation, where you don't have to do anything like this ever again, but drink Mai Tais and pina coladas on the beach. What kind of business would you have by doing what's important and urgent, and then going to the business builders and doing 1 or 2 of those every day, and then taking care of the tasks, and then just ending your day.
Good.
So this has to be done consistently. This is where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
What I want you to know is, by doing this over and over, you're actually reprogramming your brain to think the way the brain wants to think. So you're actually taking the one tool, the brain in your head, and you're making it more efficient by giving it and feeding it what it needs to be efficient. So at the beginning of this, I said, we got 15 people in the room, which is awesome. We had 21 before, and by the time this ends, it's going to be whittled down to the ones that are here, where they're doing their life wheel, they're doing their work wheel, and they also have their 4 quadrants done. They've done their North Star. They understand where they're going. There should be a feeling of peace, calm, and ease and confidence that you're getting exactly what you want, or it's coming to you down the pipeline, like you're going to get your best life. So the question I have to ask is, how many of you are finding it difficult to keep up with the weekly routine of doing this? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, good. Usually it's about 100%, so you're not alone. I did this because if I didn't, I was going to lose my family. Because if I didn't change what I was doing, if I didn't change my habit, if I did not change my behavior, if I did not change my personality and my programming that I had from my father, who was a chauvinistic, stubborn, narcissistic, mean German man, then I would have been in the same situation. Instead, I'm not. So because I had a purpose that meant so much, I did this every day. I went to a counselor twice a week. I figured out my life wheel. I did it every week. Now, that's dramatic, isn't it, you guys? So there's no drama in your life. There's no rock bottoms here. So what do we do? How do we give our life this level of importance? Now, this is really hard to do because, in the military, to actually train somebody how to kill another human being, they used to say, do it for God and country. And then they found out that that wasn't effective enough. It wasn't making the soldiers laser focused and being their most effective. So then they said, take care of you and your family. And that wasn't effective. The only way it became effective was when they were given instructions that, Jesse and Danielle is Keith's sister. Keith, make sure your sisters come home to their family. And now when someone's trying to kill me, they're trying to kill my friends. There's no way that's going to happen. So what happens is if I have to take care of somebody else, I'm willing to go to the ends of the earth for it, but to take care of myself, I'm not. Here's another example of how this is so prevalent. They did a survey. They gave 100 people, they took 100 people that received prescriptions for their health. 33 didn't even fill the prescription. 33% didn't finish taking the prescription, and 33% finished it fully. Same example, 100 people were given a prescription to take care of their dog. 100% was filled. 100% was given all the way to the end.
Yeah, okay, but listen.
Because you're taking care of the dog. You're taking care of somebody else.
He wants to be like,
So my question for you guys today, to challenge your thinking and to open up the microphones, is how do you make your life important enough to do the things you need to do to have your best life? To run a business that gets you everything you want, the volume you want, the money you want, the life that you want. How do you find that depth of commitment and drive within yourself? Does anybody know somebody with that commitment and drive within themselves that just is motivated, not by anything other than just themselves? If you do, please click on your mic and share their story so we can get some learning here.
My wife.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, she's on top of everything. I mean, she's a school teacher, so that helps, I guess. But she's always, making sure that everyone's on track in our family. She's very organized, and she's my wife, so I'm going to talk good about her, but she's
not
just
necessarily
on top
true.
of everything. No, she's just, she has it together. That's all.
What do you think drives her? What do you think makes her want to be that? What do you think is her purpose? Why would she do that every day? Why not quit for her? Why does she do it?
Motivation, drive. She always wants to be better. That's how she was raised.
Awesome.
Just
She was
try
programmed that
hard.
way.
Yeah.
Right. So I wasn't programmed that way, right? I wasn't programmed with
Mhm.
purpose in my mind, right? I was programmed by my narcissistic father, who was the best in the world, and I just had to do everything for him. And I never got his approval. So my whole life I've been searching for approval, which makes my value less unless I'm really entertaining. So I started to be funny, and then I lied, and I was a bullshitter, and I never got it from my dad. And in the end, I realized that I am worthy of love and value as is. I don't need it from somebody else. So that's a deep fast track on my daddy issue, my programming. What other things drive people, you guys? Like, think about it. Take a look at the top producing realtors in the industry. Sheila Francis was driven by something. Think about people that you admire and watch that just diligently work. They're driven by purpose. It's usually ladies are driven by the nurturing factor and taking care of their families that they autonomically have, that men don't have, that they have to learn how to get and train themselves to have. So ladies get shit done all the time. Their schedules, their calendars, they're running kids here, running them there, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, doing this. And us, and this is generic, this is not everybody, so please don't be offended. Just let's explore how we can get drive in our life. Let's explore how we can do this life wheel for the next 5 weeks so that we can get the impact of the compounding things that we want to do. Fair enough?
Mhm.
Fair enough. But we can't I can just give it to you, which I've done, and we know that we're not doing it. So it'd be a waste for me to just go, everybody take out your life wheel and do it again. Or we can do it in person, which is fine. Yet what do you need to find within yourself to change the habit of not taking care of yourself? Right? Because, the clients that I work with, I always make sure they have a vision. They always have a vision of where they're going, of why they're doing what they're doing. Is this for retirement? Is this for money? What are you going to do with the money, right? I mean, if you're in volunteer work, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but your volunteer work for the Girl Guides, there's a ton of work to do there, right? Why do you do that? It's volunteer. You don't get paid. Why don't you just go to the pub and quit? What drives you?
Because I know that my purpose is that I'm here, and whether it's working with my clients for tax purposes or for their business consulting, or whether it's Girl Guides, that my purpose is to help other people. So I've spent a long time taking care of my family and taking care of my clients, and my purpose is larger than that, because I have seen a couple hundred girls run through my units. But the reason that I chose to volunteer at a higher level with the organization nationally was because I knew that I had the time, the ability, the purpose, the drive behind me, the ability to be able to juggle and balance home, work, volunteering. Like, I can't imagine not volunteering ever, whether it's with Girl Guides or another organization. It's just part of who I am, and you take it or leave it. And I know that this isn't for everybody, but I just know that it's important and it's critical for me. It's part of the balance, even though balance for me means I might work a 40 or 50 hour work week and also have 40 hours worth of volunteer commitments on top of it, but they're both equal and important. And sometimes it comes at the expense of my family, but it also means that I have to book in time to be with family, like I did this past weekend. We desperately needed it, and we have to make that a priority. So everything that I have and that I do is booked down to the hour, and it's not everything that has to be paid for me, but that's just how I run my own life.
How many of you felt that inspiration and power there? Just in that, did you hear it in her tone? Did you feel it, right? Did it inspire you? Because the truth
Yes.
is, right? The truth is most of you are de-inspired. So it's never about being focused. It's why you're defocused. And we're defocused because of emotional state of mind. And the life wheel gives Robin the ability to go, wow, look, I'm putting 40% here, 40% here. That's not enough. I'm going to make time for my family because it was out of balance. So she stopped, noticed, start over. She booked it. She got everything. And at the end of the week, she's darn tired, but she sure feels happy that she at least paid attention to all the things that were important to her, that were urgent and important to her. So that's the 4 quadrants. So, you know, what you can do, Robin, moving forward is weekly is like, what's urgent, important for me to do on my personal life and my business life, and start filling it out that way. Maybe a massage, maybe get your nails done. That becomes urgent and important because you need that. So this 4 quadrants is great for business because every realtor that I coach that follows the 4 quadrants always gets success right away. It's because they're doing the business builders because they have to, and they have to do it daily. But if you're in COVID and you're depressed and you can't even get out of your pajamas, then none of this matters. And I was inspired by what Robin said, and I could only think that, you know, she doesn't want to make mistakes on taxes because she really cares about her clients. So she's always driven by her purpose. How many of you feel that you know your purpose? It's just, you just don't stay focused on it, or you get defocused from it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I saw Jesse's video about why she sells real estate, right? And that was an emotional video that she did and she put out there. I'm pretty sure she's going to get a great response from it. Question is, go ahead, sorry.
It's not important. I was just saying I couldn't click on the link. I wanted to watch it too.
Yeah. So what I want you to know is, this is the most important conversation we can have in the next 8 weeks, is to find something that when you don't feel like doing the life wheel and you don't feel like doing it, that you can say to yourself or trigger yourself that inspires you to the level that Robin was there to do the work that you need to do. Does that make sense? Because it's so easy to know what to do. The life wheel, the work wheel, and the daily focus 30-20-10 is 3 tools that keep you laser focused to build the life that you want. Done every week, you'll expedite the success of your life. You get excited, you get inspired, you take it, you print it off, you put it on your desk, and you come back a week later and it's not done. And that's not because you're bad. It's not because you're horrible human beings. It's because there's no level of importance for yourself. But I tell you what, if the Girl Guides don't get their cookies and stuff doesn't get done because Robin drops the ball, well, guess what? Down the chain of events, Robin's going to have to own up to that. As a realtor, if you don't take care of things, it means you lose business, but you don't even know you lost the business because you didn't know you had it to lose. So where's your ramification? Like, if I don't act today, what's the real ripple effect, Keith? It doesn't really look like much, so I'll just do nothing today. And the real ripple effect is that if you don't do something today that generates business for you tomorrow, you're going to have no business tomorrow, which means no money tomorrow, which means your life is more stressed, which means you don't get to have fun. So how do we put a level of importance in a daily routine aligned with purpose? Now, this is the hardest thing, you guys, because purpose creates state of mind, and you could be in a future positive state of mind. What kind of feelings do you have? You guys could turn your mics on, just fire these off. What kind of feelings do you have when you're thinking that, yeah, it's going to be a great month, there's business in the hopper, it's a great market, it's going to go good? What kind of feelings live there?
Confidence.
Okay.
Excitement.
Excitement.
Empowered.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Positivity.
Yep. What else?
Lots of
Strength.
energy.
Great.
Things to do.
Perfect. Okay. Now think of a future negative outcome. So it ain't going to work out. I'm not going to have any money. COVID's going to be here forever. Life sucks. What kind of feelings live in there?
Dread.
What else?
Laziness.
Yeah. What else?
Why bother?
Why bother? What else?
How about anxiety?
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sadness, depression.
Sadness, depression. Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to past negative. I should have done more. I should have called my list. Should have been better. Why didn't I get another job? Why did I go into real estate? Or, oh man, I ruined my life by not doing this or that. So going to the past negative, what kind of feelings are created there?
Guilt.
Guilt.
That's
Regret. Regret.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So we could go to the fourth quadrant now, which is past positive. And this one, guys, this is a real mind mess, all right? The past positive, which I call the comfort zone, which is, you know what? Things have already worked out for me this way all the time. I'm not going to change anything. I'm comfortable the way it is. I'm not going to learn technology. You know what? I don't need to do anything more in my business. I don't need to learn Instagram, Facebook. That's for idiots. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. It's all going to turn out fine. What kind of feelings live there?
Being stagnant.
Complacent.
Complacent. Complacent. Okay, so those are the 4 states of mind that you can be in. Okay, now you can only be in one state of mind at a time. Your brain can only be one. It's like everyone think of Hawaii. Okay, got Hawaii, blue water, palm trees, smell the ocean. Everyone think of a coffee cup. Okay, a black coffee cup. Now think of a black coffee cup and Hawaii at the same time. Go. Instantaneously, you feel stress in your neck. You feel a pressure because you're trying to do too much and the brain can only do one thing at one time. So the brain is systematic and sequential. So multitasking is actually sequential tasking. So there's no way in the world I could be here right now with you guys and make a sales call. You know, I'll be right.
Is that because you're a male?
No, it's oh yeah, I'll be right with you. So yeah, so no, hang on, sorry, yeah, don't hang up, please. I need the business. So guys, yeah, you can't do it. What you can do is you can iron and watch TV at the same time, or you can have a lot of stuff on the go, but your brain can only be focused on one thing at one time to do it properly. So that's called sequential tasking, not multitasking. So don't try to multitask. What you can do is have multiple things to do, but sequentially hit them in order of importance. That'll keep you in a positive future mindset, which has you in those feelings and emotions. So whatever feelings you're having is driving your machine, okay? So how many of you, honestly, today were not in a future positive mindset? You were either in the past or you were in a future negative. So if you were in a future positive mindset, put up your hand. 1, 3, 4, that's good. 5, good. How many of you were looking forward to this meeting today? Put up your hand, okay? Because this is a future positive thing. This is an experience that we created by putting it in our schedule to be here, okay? If you did the same thing with your daily morning routine where you did either my daily 10-minute worksheet or you did the 4 quadrants or you did the life wheel or you did the work wheel, anything, one of these tools, every morning you just woke up, got your coffee, sat down, pulled out one of these tools, right? Depending on what you want. If you really want your business to be amazing, then you do the work wheel every week, Monday morning, 8 things. If you're finding that your life is overwhelming and you just want peace and happiness and contentment, do your life wheel. And you know what? I had clients that hired me that when they got this, they just didn't do it once a week. There was Jody Steves in Surrey and Katrina Amaral and Bernadette Laxamana. These 3 ladies, I physically watched them do 2 life wheels and 2 work wheels every week, 16 and 16, 32 things in their business and their life that they did every week. And they did that with me for 3 years. Okay. So they had Robin's drive, not mine. And don't think you're bad because I'm not telling you this to put you down. I'm just telling you this because Katrina, her team did 230 transactions and Jody's teams did 80 and she's balanced and they take vacations and they go on time and they spend time with their families because they've learned through this process of doing it that that's what needs to happen to have such a high level of success. Now they were all driven, right? They were all driven for different reasons. One of them, I'm not going to say which one, was driven to impress people so badly because of self-esteem issues that they worked 24 hours a day, burned out in 2 years. The other one that was driven by wanting to make an impact in the community and really wanting to help, energized, just keeps going, doesn't stop. And the third person was energized by just wanting to take care of people. That's it. She has the VIP team. It's Jody. She has the VIP team out in Surrey. She has like all these people. All she does is want to take care of people. They have purpose, you guys. That's the one common thing they all have. and they stay focused on it every day. Now, if you think defining your purpose is hard, it's not. If the life wheel, and just imagine a positive future outcome, that your life wheel's at a 10 out of 10, and you've got great work, great balance, great finance, taking care of yourself, having fun, traveling, living the best life, and you're at a 10 out of 10, what do you have there that you don't have now? How are you impacting people in your life? Why are you living at a 10 out of 10? Why not just quit? So everybody hires me to give them the actions to get the results. And the work that I do is I work on the person to want to take the actions to get the results. Simple, right? And we're all here. It's not simple, is it, Corey? Thank you. Thank you for being honest. Yeah, it's not simple, because when I give you the tools, I've simplified a very complicated process. And what I want you to know is trust in me, trust in Coach Keith. Just do the tools, because it's reprogramming your brain. All the tools I've made have been made to reprogram your brain, so you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is just commit to me another 5 weeks with me here, so that we can just agree to, as tests, just to see what happens. Let's just do it and see what happens. Like, do your life wheel, do your work wheel, and then tell me at the end of 8 weeks what happens in your life. With no future negative outcome, with no shoulda, coulda, wouldas, with no I'm comfortable, only from the place of, wow, what can possibly happen? What can I achieve? What can I accomplish now at this place of taking care of myself first? So we talked about creating experiences this week. So what I want you to do is I want you to make an experience this week that's either going to take place in the future for yourself, for your family, whomever, that's going to create more joy and fun in your life. So that's one assignment this week, number one. So create something in your life in the next 30 days that's going to create more joy in your life. So book a spa day, go golfing, book a trip, go for a road trip. Even if it's just a road trip for one day, like, get out of your comfort zone. Even if it means driving 5 hours to kayak in a different lake for 1 hour and driving 5 hours home again, you're at least going on a road trip and creating an experience, right? So I was craving for an experience. So we drove up to Whistler, just underneath Whistler, where all the eagles are. I forget what it's called. Anyways, and I wanted to go on a road trip. So my wife and daughter said, yeah, let's do it. Well, the first thing I want to do is grab a 6-pack, but that's not allowed anymore. So especially with my daughter and my son, my daughter and my wife. So when we were coming back from the road trip, my wife was like, well, why don't we have chips? And they stopped off at London Drugs, and they came out with like 3 bags of different chips, salt and vinegar, all these. And we ate chips on the way home like we were being bad. It was like, but it created an experience. And my daughter she was DJing. She put on the music. She put on this great song. The sunroof was open. We're eating chips, right? And it was only an hour drive, an hour and 15-minute drive, and a 2-hour walk and an hour and 15-minute drive back. We created an experience that created joy. We created an experience that created happiness. I'm trying to rejuvenate my soul so I can go back and do my life wheel, so I can go back and do my 4 quadrants, so I can do my daily routine. I'm trying to get my energy and my drive up through inspiration from creating more joy in my life. That's what I'm trying to do. So what I want to do now is I want everybody to just write down 3 successes that you've had in the last week. 3 successes. So it could be personal and business.
Personally.
And as you're writing down these successes, you can, right beside it, you can put what state of mind you were in when you were getting those successes. So were you in a future positive? Were you in the moment just having those? Or was it driven by something else? All right, so you wrote down 3 successes. The next thing I want you to write down is, What is one belief that you have that stops you from achieving your best life and your success? What's one belief that you have that stops you from getting what you want? What's a belief or a thought that you have that stops you from achieving your success or getting what you want in your life? So I'm going to just go around the room. You're going to list off your 3 successes, and then you're going to tell me the one belief you have, and then I'm going to walk you through an exercise. Okay? So who's ready to go? Danielle, you ready to go? Nope. Who's ready to go? Put your hand up if you're okay. Go ahead, Shelley.
Well, my
3
sister
successes.
got out of the hospital. I had 5 accepted offers this week, and I got out with the dogs every day.
Wow. Good for you. That's amazing. What's the one belief you have that stops you from what you want?
It's hard.
Right. Okay. And with the thought that it's hard, does that bring more stress or more calm to you?
No.
Does it bring more stress or more calm?
Yeah, no more stress.
So thinking that it's hard and it brings more stress, how do you wake up facing every day knowing it's going to be hard and stressful?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think the compound of that would be on somebody like you over 365 days?
You just don't want to get up and even start.
Right. So what I want you to know is that's a belief and a thought that you have to change in order to move forward. So the opposite of it's hard is it's easy, and that's bullshit. So we're not going to say that. What would you happen if you woke up and you said, I accept that it's hard. I accept it's hard and I want my best life. And you said that for 365 days. What would happen to the stress level that you would have?
Way down.
Right. And now you'd be able to enjoy life a little bit more and not be so hard on yourself. Dennis, what are your 3 successes?
I took my wife to Van Dusen Gardens and we did photography on one afternoon.
Nice.
I wrote an accepted offer and had a great family Father's Day.
Oh, brilliant. Congratulations. What is one thought and or belief that you have that stops you from achieving what you want?
I am not able to generate enough leads.
Okay. So when you wake up in the morning, well, first of all, is that true? Yes or no? You personally, Dennis, are not able to generate enough leads.
Well,
Is
that's not true. I don't have enough in front of me, but
Good.
I haven't generated enough.
With the thought, I can't generate leads, how does that make you feel when you go to generate leads?
I don't believe that I cannot generate leads. I just said I don't have enough leads.
Right. Okay, good. So the belief you had was you can't generate enough leads, correct?
Correct.
Good.
No,
So the state-
at this point.
I don't have enough.
I don't have enough.
Okay. So that's not a belief. So do you have a belief that stops you from achieving what you want?
I need to think about that.
Sure. Go ahead and think about it. No worries. All right, Corey, go ahead. 3 successes. Corey Fonseca.
I had a subject removal on a deal. I got a new buyer, and I had a very nice Father's Day family dinner with my dad, who I haven't seen in months.
Brilliant. Congratulations. And what is one thought that you have that stops you from achieving what you want?
It won't happen for me.
Right. So with the thought it won't happen for me, does that create more stress or more calm?
Stress.
Okay. And with that stress, it won't happen for me. How do you think that motivates you to do the work that you need to do?
It doesn't.
Great. So what's the opposite of that?
It will happen for me.
And that's a future positive outcome, a future state of mind. What kind of emotions live in a future state of mind, everybody? Right? Remember? So now that she says that, she's going to take her brain into a future positive state of mind to create more of those feelings, right? And if you practice that, then what'll happen is she'll be different as she goes through making the calls, meeting people, asking for the business. So remember, we have these limiting beliefs that stop us from achieving what we want to achieve. Danielle, are you ready? Your 3 successes? Thank you. Corey?
I don't know. I'm having a really tired day today. My brain is
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a choice. You can go to the belief or you can give me 1 success. It's up to you.
so tired. I had a nice Father's Day yesterday, my dad.
Good. Excellent. There you go. You're tired, and you're tired because I know if you were to walk 5 kilometers right now, could you walk 5 kilometers?
No.
Physically, you couldn't physically do it? You're physically tired?
Yeah, I'm really tired. I didn't sleep at all last night. I'm just here because I don't want to be a flake and not show up.
Good for you. Thanks for coming. What I want you to know is when people tell Coach Keith they're tired, I ask one of the questions, 2 questions, like, are you emotionally tired or physically tired? And if they tell me they're physically tired, I'll say, could you walk 5K? And they usually say yes. But if I say, if you're emotionally tired, what's the one predominant negative thought you've been having over and over that has built up to this over feeling? And everyone has these negative thoughts, like whatever it would be. And I'm not going to work with Danielle now because she's tired, and I can see her eyes burning through me right now. So it's okay. No, it's all good. So Ryan, let's go to you. 3 successes.
All right, I had engaged in my business this week, and I got an accepted offer, or I was in a multiple offer, and I got accepted. And I spent time with my father, with the family, of course. It was his 70th birthday. So yeah, it was nice, and I had a great Father's Day.
Excellent. What's one thought that you have or belief that you have that's going to stop you from achieving what you want?
I guess just motivation to keep the drive to keep on going.
Okay, so you don't have the motivation to keep the drive going.
Well, yes, I do, but I guess because my son, 4 years old, I have to take care of him during the daytime, is getting in the way of my business, which is sucks, but at the same, you know, deterring me from doing as best of a job I can for my business.
Awesome. So I've been there.
Speak of the devil, here he is.
So I've been there. I've been there, Ryan. I've been there where I saw my children as a burden towards my career. Yeah. And so what I ended up doing, because my wife worked from 6 to 2 in the evenings as an emergency nurse. And then I got up in the morning with the kids, and then she got up at 10 and we did the handoff, and then she came home, and that's how it went forever. So what I did was I ended up hiring, if you can imagine, I had a list of 19 good babysitters in the local neighborhood. And what I did is I would spend time with my children from 5 to 7 and eat with them and bath them and book and bed. And if they didn't go to bed, then the sitter would come, and then I would step out, and then I'd do my business, and I'd come back in. So I created a way that made it able for me to do what I need to do, right? So with the thought that it's impacting you that way, it obviously creates negative feelings, which would impact how you are as a father, which I feel kind of heavy on my chest right now because I've had that feeling before. Scotty, let's go to you for a minute. When you were back and your kids were little, did you ever have that lovely thought process at all?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the goal always was, in my queue, I had more, I felt that the time I had with my girls was so important. So I was prepared to take the hit. That was so good. And I probably did take a hit for it, but luckily that between Robin and I, we worked out it really well. But it certainly cost me money or, career successes, but it's okay. To me, it was well worth it. I invested the same way, wouldn't change a bit. So.
And what I would say there, Ryan, is that's acceptance of your situation instead of wishing it was different. And then by doing that, you can live your best life and be happier than wishing it was different. Anyways, that's a lot of deepness there, but I'd love it if you give me a call this week. We could chat a little bit more about that. Okay, Robert, go ahead. 3 successes.
I'm mute here. I reached several clients, something promising to be listing soon. I went on a 30K bike ride out in Pitt Meadows, saw lots of wildlife and eagles and stuff like that. And I've been plowing my way through a new edition of an amazing book. It's called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. I'm a type A, and I've found out I've eaten bananas all my life like a monkey, and it's something I shouldn't eat. Type A should be mostly vegetarian. Of course, I'm born and raised on a farm in Saskatchewan, eating everything that doesn't move, and type A should not be eating meat. So it's been a bit of a paradigm shift for my diet, which I feel so much better for. Of course, I go to the gym just about every day, so that's working out. One of the negatives is getting rid of the stinking thinking that all this hard work is not going to pay off. And one of the things that I gravitated to today, I don't know, Scott, if you remember, there was quite some time ago, we were able to order thank you cards and stuff like that. And one of them that really resonated with me today as I was putting the finishing touches on this, and it says, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. So I'm trying to stay focused on that it's going to happen.
Good. So that means focusing on the actions, not the results, which is important. And, you know, when you're focusing on it's not going to turn out, all this hard work's not going to turn out, you're in a future negative outcome, which creates those stinking thinking feelings, right? Remember, in the beginning, emotions need motion.
Yeah.
So the thing, Robert, is that one thought that you're having is creating a future negative outcome. It's compounding, and it's the stinking thinking that's there. So you have to interrupt the pattern, okay? You have to break that pattern, and you break it today. And you do it by exactly what you said. You wake up every day, and it's the seeds that I plant are more important than the harvest I reap, right? So that should be your new mantra for the next 7 days to keep you in a future positive outcome. So the stinking thinking stops so you can take the actions today, right? Thanks for sharing. That was really, really nice of you to share that. So go ahead, Robin, 3 successes.
First success was I had an amazing weekend away in Whistler with my family, which was fantastic and much needed. Second was I cleared up somebody's 8-year backlog of taxes that they had not filed.
Woo!
And third was I having a really difficult conversation with an exec assistant on my volunteer position that I need to create some space for her to make her successful within the organization, even though she's staff and I am solely a volunteer. But it was challenging but successful. And my belief that stops me from getting what I want is the fact that my desire to help others sometimes is paramount. And I have a really difficult time saying no and setting boundaries. So that is, that's that side of me.
Okay, so the number one thing about people that don't say no or set boundaries, okay, and this might not be you, but let's just explore this, Robin, so don't take it personal if it goes there. The number one thing I find is when people that have time management where they can't say no, it's because their value comes from saying yes. So you're only valuable if you can help somebody, but you're not valuable if you can't help them. And the truth is you are worthy of love, respect, and value as is. You don't need to do something to receive that. So from there, you don't have to say yes anymore. You can say no. Now, the tool that I'll teach you right now today is how to say yes, which is a great way to say no, which is, Robin, I would love to help you. And unfortunately, I'm booked for the weekend with my family. Yes, that would be a great opportunity. And, right, yes, and my schedule's booked. Would you like me to put you in for May next year, 2021, right? So you say yes, and then you tell them why you can't, right? And if it's just because you don't want to work with them, it's a toughie, right? Like, yes, I would love to, and I don't want to work with you, right? That's not going to work, obviously. So what would work is, yes, I would love to, and unfortunately right now my schedule is so full, I won't be able to find time for it. Thank you so much for the offer. So I just said no to you.
Yeah, and I've been really good at that this tax season about doing that for people who I might have worked with a few years ago. Maybe I just felt, you know, they'd call me up again and it just felt like it wasn't going to work out with them another time. I think that the challenge more for me is creating that time or that desire for the things that I want, because I feel like others are more important.
Well, you know what's you know what's interesting there is in my business, when I transitioned from real estate to coaching, I had to make a certain amount of income, right? So I figured it all out. I figured out this is how many clients I needed at this much money. And then I went out and I got it. But what I didn't realize was that actually limited me to future opportunities, because I got a phone call from Top Producer and they wanted me to speak at Vegas at R4. And they paid me $11,000 to come out there and do that. So all of a sudden I realized, wow, by filling everything in with an expectation and setting the bar and creating the structure, I didn't leave room for opportunity. So what I did was I went forward and I canceled a whole bunch of every Monday and Wednesday mornings. So I didn't fill it with people, which is the antithesis to what I should do to have this money for my business, And what it did do was it created openings for opportunities that would come my way or I could create. So what you have to do, Robin, is you have to go ahead in your schedule and leave some things blank. Don't fill it all in. Like put in a blank and put in there time for opportunity. Opportunity for yourself, opportunity for another opportunity. And then you have to be curious to see how it works out, instead of predicting that it's not going to work out or worrying that this is going to take away from something else. So you're already saying no to something in the future by blocking that time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Awesome. Great. So Nina, successes for you?
Well, I managed to have a couple of good showings for one of the listings that I had in Vancouver. Some inquiries about the commercial listing and the showing, so it went well. And another thing is that I did a graduation party and a Father's Day party yesterday for the big family, and everything went well.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
Do you have
you.
any thoughts that stop you from achieving what you want? Any beliefs?
Sometimes I think it's just the moment that's the whole COVID thing. It just sort of like make you feel like you were kind of feeling lazy a little bit, I guess.
So COVID, so the thing about COVID is there's no urgency in our life because
Yes,
it's right. So what we need to do is you need to put a time frame in your day. So by 12 o'clock, you have to get something done. And then that urgency will drive you to do what's important. A lot of times people tell me they're lazy because they don't access and do the most important things first. They just do a bunch of things and then they feel like they're procrastinating. So if you put a time frame in your day, so, you know, and then plan for other stuff. So I'm going to finish my work by 12. And if you have appointments for showings in the evening and stuff, you block time in the day for nothing. Like, again, it's just what I said to Robin is you have to structure your time. Otherwise you will feel lazy because you have no urgency, which makes you feel like you're just moving like a slug. So make sure you set time frames. You don't have to time block, but you have to put an end to your day so that you have focus. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Minnie, successes?
Okay. Because I'm still working on my personal health. This week, I actually walk, and 2 times a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So that's 2 first.
Good.
Send
And she's frozen.
myself to walk, and then it ate 2 times. And the biggest thing is I take courses. So I'm basically hoping that after this sessions, my mind and my motivation will be. So basically, yeah, those are the 3 successes: the walking and then rolling. And the belief that stop the success is it may be too hard to go back. So again, I have to regain my confidence.
Sure. So, you know what I heard there, and I think everyone heard it. So, okay, Winnie, your connection's really bad there, but yeah, I can hear you now. So what I want you to know is there's a couple things that I heard there. One was hope, the word hope, right? I don't like hope is not a good way to build a future. So stop hoping and start doing. Just you're doing your walks, which is great. So focus on what you're doing, right? And build from there. Small successes build bigger successes. The next thing is your confidence is low because you don't know whatever. You got to get out of the stinking thinking. Robert said it, right? Robert said it's the stinking thinking. So what Robert's going to do is he's going to wake up every morning and he's going to have a mantra, or he's going to have something he's going to say to himself to shift his thinking, right? Otherwise, if you don't, it will always stay the same. So, and if you're going to be in a future negative state of mind, that's where we are in anxiety, depression, pointlessness, and that breeds more of that. So You have to, and the first thing in the morning, Minnie, is you have to change your thinking. You have to give it something to look for, a vision board, something that, you know, even at the end of the day, like if I read you my daily routine today, if I could find it. Okay, so I got up this morning, I got my coffee, I went on my deck, and I did my daily 10, and I said, my daily intention today was create a plan of experiences that are going to bring joy to my life. I was grateful for my family and my quality of life. I appreciate the things that I am grateful, that about me that I'm grateful for. I'm patient, caring, and open, and I'm decisional. And I don't know if decisional is a word, but that's what I wrote down. And then at the end of the day, I'm ending my day at 5 o'clock. I'm looking forward to booking the trips and the golf trip and barbecuing hamburgers on the deck with a beer tonight. And then I put my activities that I had to do, which was get new business from calling 3 people, which I've done already, doing these meetings, and then I finished. That's it. So if all you do, Minnie, is all you do is wake up and do that sheet and do that top row of that sheet. If that's all you did was number 1, I guarantee you the stinking thinking would go away. Except you have to commit to it daily, okay? For the next 7 days, I've given you the sheet, print off 7 sheets, and hammer that out. All right, you guys, we covered a lot today. We covered about creating experiences. We talked about a future positive outcome, the states of mind. What beliefs do we have? Like, what learning did you get just by hearing the beliefs that people have created in their lives? These are blind spots. When I ask you and you acknowledge them, you didn't know they were there until I asked you and you acknowledge them. So that's a blind spot. So we're wrapped up now. We're done. 3 people, give me some takeaways or learnings that you got from our session today, and then we'll wrap it up. And you guys have to do your work for the next week. Rubber hits the road. We're going to be here next week for week 4, which means we're halfway there, which is awesome. You guys are getting deals. You're working buyers. You know, you're feeling some momentum. Maybe you're getting into the flow state now. You're changing it up. So what was a learning or takeaway? I'll go for 3 or more, and then we'll be done. And if you have to go, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me today. And I just hope that you guys are inspired and you have a deeper understanding of how our brains work.
Thank you so much.
So, learning or takeaways, guys?
Struggle is real.
Say it again, sorry.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real, brother. I'm with you on that one. The struggle is real.
Focus on future positive outcomes.
Brilliant. And that's why we want to dream, right, Corey? That's why we want to dream. You know, guys, they've taken some stuff away from us, but just imagine when COVID's done and you get to have that dream trip because you saved all this money. Other takeaways?
Set timelines.
Say it again, sorry.
Set timelines.
Perfect.
Yep. How about leaving room for opportunity? Don't fill those days too much. That's my problem, or my issues usually.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Leave room for opportunity. Absolutely. And then if it's in the future schedule, what you'll find is opportunities start to come and you have room for them now. But if they come and you don't have room, you have to say no. And you don't want to do that, you guys. You want to have room for opportunities in the future. It's really important.
Find your bigger purpose or your what's the most meaningful, I guess, in what you do.
Yeah, you know, Jess, I was watching your video and you were getting close. You were getting close to your purpose, but you didn't achieve it all the way. The video was excellent. And if you want, give me a call. I can ask you probably 7 questions and you'll have a deeper understanding of what that is.
Yeah, because I want to do another video too, so I will call you. I'll take you up on that one.
Perfect.
That video, just so you guys know, was like only $100. If you guys want to know the company that did it, just message me.
Was it that tall blonde guy?
No, it
No?
was a company that it was like an add-on to a listing package, and I said I wanted an agent intro video, and they said, yeah, no problem, extra $100, and they came to my house with lights and camera and everything, and it was
Everybody
really,
should do that. Everybody should do that.
yeah.
Okay, so here's one last tip, guys, okay? So everybody, so when you get to the landline, Jesse, share that company, please. And then everybody should write down the 4 things about the 4 things. So it's like writing your eulogy, which I call YOULOGY. So not like a eulogy, like you're dying.
YOOU.
Eulogy. 4
Yeah.
things about you that I should know. 4 things about you that I should know. You know, I'm hardworking, I'm committed, I'm disciplined, and I'm loyal. And then 4 things about those 4 things. I'm loyal to my family. I'm loyal to my clients. I'm loyal to my hockey team. I'm loyal
Yeah.
to a fault. I'm disciplined in my activities. I'm disciplined in taking care of my clients. You know, I'm disciplined in my routines, and I'm disciplined in growing my business. I'm committed. You know what I mean? Like 4 things and 4 things about 4 things. Shoot that video and it'll be very impactful. It's like your eulogy, and everyone should do that for $100, man. I mean, that's a great deal. And you know what? If Scotty could bring him in on your next sales meeting, Scotty, bring them in on the next sales meeting. And that's a +1. If we can get every one of you guys to have a promotional video done like you did, where you're interviewed and you speak from the heart, and the 4 things about the 4 things people know about you, people will then make you the one of choice. Because you know what? The person that wants Jess might not be the person that wants Robert, but the person that wants Robert better be able to find Robert. You better be able to click on a video and go, that's the guy for me. He's a type A, banana-eating, meat-eating guy that shouldn't be. All right,
Good
y'all.
answer. Yeah.
Everybody have yourself a great week. I look forward next week.
Bye. Thank you.
And
Drop
you
me-
too.
Drop me a line or an email if anything you want to bring up in the meeting, anything that you're struggling with that you want to discuss on your business. I'll make sure that I cross it over when we get there. All right?
All right, people. Thank you all for coming out. I'll share the recording for this after the fact. Anybody would like to get it, if you don't